Mets lose 9-6 to the Atlanta Braves in what felt like a very vintage Mets game. Um, yeah, there's not a lot to unpack here. This game just absolutely sucked. The Mets should absolutely be embarrassed of themselves in terms of the pitching staff, specifically one guy in particular, I should say, because the rest of them held down the fort. And I should say that the training staff should be embarrassed of themselves. The Jeremy Hefner should be embarrassed. Buck Showalter should be embarrassed because I do not understand what the hell went on with Taiwan Walker and why he was not out of the game immediately after spiking that ball. But we'll talk about it. But before we do, be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially for Met fans. Turn on your notifications. Also, remember, we are brought to you by Manscaped. They are the best in men's below the waist grooming, and you could get 20% off and free shipping utilizing the code Python at your checkout. And that is they're helping 6 million people out there, so you might as well trust them. 12 million balls out there in the world being saved by Manscaped, and why not include yours as well? You might as well get in on the action there. Remember, code Python for 20% off and free shipping. The Lawnmower 4.0, it's great. The deodorant's great. The wipes are great. Everything. They got it all. You can get the hygiene bundle if you want it all in one. It's great. And then TickPick as well. Check them out if you want to get yourself to a game. They are the best. No fees at all at the checkout page, so you don't have to worry about that. Definitely check them out. But let's talk about this game now. This was not a fun one. Yeah, it smelt funny from the beginning, didn't it? Ronald Acuna flies out. All right, one quick out, sorta, because it ended up being worked to a full count. Dansby Swanson then with a double on the second pitch. And then within this Matt Olson at bat, he ends up throwing the ball just into the ground, and something looked off to me. Something looked off. Either way, from the first two batters, something looked off to me with Taiwan Walker to begin with. I don't know what it was, but something looked off mechanically. And then that I saw it, and I was like, yeah, he's hurt. There's just no way around it. He's hurt. Get him out of the game, which I thought initially they were going to do. He ends up throwing that warm-up pitch. He says he's all good, stays in the game. And I knew that it was a mistake to keep him in that game. I knew it because he was wincing after every pitch still. He was still wincing for a while, and it was just a mistake. I don't know if there's any reports as of now about an injury, which I could check. But if there's not an injury, that's a whole other concern. But it looked like he was wincing, and it looked like he was hurt all of last night, which worried me quite a bit. And it doesn't look like we got anything in terms of a injury here. So, oh, and Tommy Hunter gets on the injured list today. Great. But yeah, like I was saying, I knew right then and there that Taiwan Walker wasn't going to be in this game for that long because there was just no way. There was just no way. Matt Olson then gets a double. That drove in the first run of the game, makes it 1-0 Atlanta. And Austin Riley hit by a pitch. And yeah, again, Taiwan Walker he wasn't hitting his locations. His pitches just looked awful. That splitter that he usually uses so effectively this year, yeah, was not having it with it tonight, or last night. Was not having it. And then they had to, of course, have that injury delay because Austin Riley got hit by the pitch. Thankfully, he was okay, though. And then Eddie Rosario hits one in the right field, and that one wasn't coming back. 4-0 ball game for the Atlanta Braves. And then you have a Marcell Ozuna flyout. Yorme has a chance to get them out of the inning, and he ends up making an error there. Thankfully, Arcia then gets out the following at bat, and that it's a tough hill to climb. But you're down by 4. All right, they could score 4 runs in an inning. Why can't we? So, what do the Mets do? Nothing. The first inning. I mean, Nimmo gets a leadoff double, and that ends up getting completely wasted as the Mets couldn't do anything. And then Taiwan Walker, yeah, no, this was just not it for him. Michael Harris with a home run to lead things off in the inning. Again, poor execution with the pitching. Ronald Acuna then with a single, and he ends up stealing second. And then Dansby Swanson drives him in because, of course, that made it 6-0. Matt Olson then gets a single, and that ended up being where Buck pulled the plug on Taijuan Walker, which was very, very too late on things. Damage was already way too done. And when I saw Trevor Williams trotting out of the bullpen, I wanted to vomit because I knew that I'm sorry. No, the last thing that I wanted being at a Met game, I was there last night. The last thing I wanted to see was Trevor Williams pitch. I mean, granted, not that this bullpen has a lot of great options out there. I'm just saying, but when Trevor Williams is coming in the pitch, it either means your starter got hurt or he got absolutely beat up in the first few innings here. So, yeah, when you see Trevor Williams trot out of the bullpen, you're not exactly thrilled to be at the ballpark. But yeah, then he ends up letting up a run that made it 7-0, and then Eddie Rosario got a double, made things 8-0. Thankfully, got out of the inning after that. And the Mets, they at least tacked on a run. They got the first 2 outs, but again, the Mets do things with 2 outs. Tyler Naquin with a single, Guillorme then with a walk, Nito then with a walk, and things were promising as he got the bases loaded, and then Brandon Nimmo gets a single, and that makes it 8-1. Unfortunately, though, Joey Cora was way too aggressive and decided to send Luis Guillorme on that to try to get 2 runs, which I understand you're down by that much. You got to try something there, but at the same time, you got a nice little rally going. You can't do that. You got 2, 3, 4 coming up in the order. You just can't do that in that scenario. Don't like the decision there from Joey Cora, but yeah, regardless, 8-1 game at that point. And then Trevor Williams, it looked bad, though. It looked bad. He ends up hitting Arcia with a pitch, and then he ends up getting Harris out. Ronald Acuna with a single, strikes out Swanson. Olsen then walks, and thankfully with the bases loaded, he gets out of the jam as Austin Riley grounds out. 3rd inning, Marte with a single, and it would have been nice if Guillorme wasn't sent. Maybe we could have got a few extra runs there, and that might have changed the dynamic of this baseball game, but it is what it is. A lot of what-ifs with this one. And then Lindor struck out. Alonso then lined out. Vogelbach with a walk, and then McNeil couldn't drive in a run. 4th inning, nothing happened outside of a Guillorme walk. 5th inning comes around, and Trevor Williams still in this game. He gets the first out, easy on 1 pitch. Then you have Michael Harris, who gets on, and they had to review a play there, which, again, another play that just the umpires, I don't know what they've been seeing as of lately, but sure. Ronald Acuna then with a single, and then he gets out of the inning with a Swanson lineout. Bottom of the 5th comes around, and the Mets end up tacking on another run. Lindor and Pete get on with singles, and the Mets again with 2 outs produce. Jeff McNeil with a single. That made it 8-2. Darren Ruff then pinch hits, and that made it a 8-4 game as he came in because they had the lefty come in for Ian Anderson. So Darren Ruff ended up coming in for Vogelbach. Or no, that wasn't the Vogelbach appearance. That was that Tyler Naquin? Yeah, it was. It was Tyler Naquin. That ended up making it 8-4. Escobar then pitch hit for Guillorme. That made it 8-5. And you're like, okay, you're feeling good. Tomas Nido, though, nothing there. I thought it was interesting that Canna wasn't up in that scenario, but then we learned later on in the game he was saved for a certain scenario, which was the next inning, which we'll talk about. But Joely Rodriguez comes into this game, and he has actually a pretty solid inning, which was surprising. Gets 2 strikeouts and a ground out, allowed a single on the first pitch to Austin Riley, but outside of that, you take that all day from Joely. Colin McHugh then came in, and Marte strikes out, but then you get a single from Lindor, a walk from Pete, and then unfortunately, Canna struck out, which I forgot to mention. Nimmo got out on the bunt there. So yeah, that unfortunately didn't work out, saving Canna for later on in the game. And then Michael Givens came into this game. He allows a walk on 4 pitches, and it looked disgusting at first. Then it looked like Arcia was about to hit one out of the park. Thankfully, that ends up being a flyout. Harris then hits it to a double play, and that ends that inning. Jeff McNeil leads things off, and he strikes out. Ruff then lines out, and then Escobar strikes out. Nothing happens there. Tommy Hunter comes into the game, and at that point, you knew it was done. Thankfully, he had a clean 8th inning. Mets couldn't do anything in the bottom of the 8th as Iglesias came in for Minter. 9th inning, Hunter still in, and William Contreras hit a home run to make it 9-5, and as if it wasn't over already. McNeil then had the blue balls with the 2 outs as he decided to make it a 9-6 game, but that was not enough to start a rally. The Mets lose. Taijuan Walker, 1 inning pitch, 7 hits, 8 earned runs, no strikeouts. Yeah, I don't care to talk about Taijuan Walker. He should have been out of this game sooner. Simple as that. Trevor Williams, he was okay. 4 hits. He didn't have a earned run allowed there. A walk, 2 strikeouts, whatever. Joely looked great. He was definitely the best pitcher for the Mets on the night. Not a lot to say there. Michael Givens, solid enough. And then Tommy Hunter was just not great, who went on the injured list, of course, now today with a back tightness, which I feel bad because I know he has had a lot of back issues as of lately in his career. Sidelined him for last year. In the lineup, though, Nimmo, he went 2 for 5 with an RBI. Overall, solid day for him. The lineup, there's not a lot to complain about. I mean, Marte, 1 for 5. Sure, maybe you can nitpick and say you want more from Starling Marte from the 2-hole there. Lindor, he went 2 for 5, 2 hits on the day. Overall, solid day. Alonso, 1 for 4 with a walk. So, again, you can nitpick. Vogelbach, he walked once, but other than that, went 0 for 2. Canna and his 2 at-bats didn't do anything. McNeil, 2 hits, 2 RBIs on the day. So, he went 2 for 5. Overall, solid day for Jeff McNeil. Tyler Naquin, 1 for 2. Solid day for him. Darren Ruff looked great in his first day as a Met, going 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Coming up in a huge spot, Guillorme, he had 2 walks on the day, so can't complain there with a nice little pair of walks. And then Escobar, who pitched it, he had a hit and an RBI. Overall, solid for him. And then Tomas Nido going 1 for 3 with a walk. Unfortunately, though, couldn't come up big when it mattered. And then overall, there's not much else to talk about this game. It was ugly. It sucked being at the ballpark for that one. But it is what it is. You got the doubleheader today. This video will be up right before then. So, going to be interesting. You got Peterson starting things off in the first game, and then Max Scherzer in the nightcap. You gotta win at least one. You have to. And if you could win both, even great. Solidify the series win nice and early. That'd be nice, but it just sucks because last night felt like such a throwaway of what could have been a win. But I'm done nitpicking for the day. Let's just hope that they could win 2 today. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe. If you guys are new, especially for Met fans, turn on your notifications, and I will see you in the next one. Let's go, Mets, baby.